joined here today by Mike Davis, coming off that huge knockout win this past weekend over Thomas Gifford. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great, honest. Feel really, really good now.
Sure, man. We saw you were doing a bit of a media tour. I believe you stopped by ESPN yesterday and you were with Ariel Helwani. How was that experience?
Um, I feel like all the UFC fighters, at least at some point in their career, want to get on the Arwani show, and I just feel like to get on it so early in my career, that was fun. I mean, that's great.
Was it how you thought it would be the experience, or was it maybe a little bit different?
It was good. It was not how I thought it would be. A little more personal than I thought it would be, but it was fun to be on there.
Yeah, Ariel knows how to get those personal things out of you.
It does.
All right, but listen, let's talk about this fight though. Obviously, it was a great performance. You got the highlight reel knockout. But first things first, this fight was on short notice. Was there any doubt to whether or not you'd take this fight?
Let's see. When it came to doubt, I got the call. Yeah, my manager asked me how I felt. I told him I felt great. The only thing that would be questionable is my cardio. So it went like a whole day went by, not a whole day, but like half a day. And then he saw me at the gym and he's like, "So do you want to take the fight? How's your cardio feel?" And I that night I was like, I'll take it, whatever, I'll take it. I'll push my cardio and we'll see what happens. And that was it. Tuesday morning, I went to work. I had Tuesday and Wednesday to train and try to push my cardio hard, and then Thursday or Wednesday night, I had to leave for Tampa.
And was it good for you getting this fight sort of on short notice? Because we know your last fight at UFC Copenhagen did get canceled, or were you hoping to come back a little bit later?
No, I was actually thinking like November, and I really wanted to get on that MGM card um, in New York City, but to be offered this fight, it was something that my management team thought was a great opportunity that I should take. So I don't really doubt them, and they know my ability. So whoever they offer me is normally who I'm going to agree to.
And so I do want to talk about what happened with Denmark a little bit, because I know your opponent pulled out, and then your fight got canceled altogether. But it seems like some people were kind of trying to push you into taking a replacement fight and stuff like that. What sort of happened
hmm
from your end and your point of view?
So with that fight, throughout my fight camp, I have been going through a multitude of things that were causing me to just not even want to fight. Tons, broken hand, dislocated wrist. Um, what else happened? The one that stuck was the staph infection. I got a staph infection about 2 weeks prior, not two, about a week and a half prior to my opponent pulling out. So when he pulled out, it was good because that's when it was really flaring and it was taking over my arm. I couldn't lift it, I couldn't do anything. So I had to go to the emergency room. And while I was at the hospital, my coach called and said they're gonna offer a replacement fight and see who it is. And I was like, I don't know if I want to fight. I was just gonna wing it, honest. And then when they finally had somebody, he called me back. I just said no. Just said I want to heal. I got on antibiotics. I was on it for 2 weeks. Everything went away, and then 2 weeks after that, I got offered this fight, so might as well. The thing that stopped me from taking the Copenhagen fight was the staph infection. I would have pushed through everything else.
Well, so if your opponent hadn't pulled out, would it have been safe to say you would have had to because of the staph infection, or do you think you would have tried to push through and kind of pull a Kevin Lee?
Uh, it would be a late call for that one. I would try my hardest to push it to the week. See if I, by a week's time out, if I'm able to take that fight. But I also don't think it's fair because if I wait that long, can he get a new opponent by then if he's still healthy enough to fight? So I may have had to pull out.
And so I do want to ask about sort of the pressure, because I was seeing, even ESPN and people were kind of reporting that the replacement fight with yourself was happening. And a few of us who had talked to you, we were reporting that, well, no, the fight's scrapped altogether. Did you feel that pressure from people trying to force you into taking the fight, or from your end, you didn't really kind of see any of that?
No, I felt it and I saw it. And then I saw a bunch of people posting about it and they would all message me. I get like 30 messages. They're like,
Yeah.
is this true, Mike, that you're fighting so and so? And I was like, no, it's not. I'm not taking another fight. So it was a little interesting to see how the social media can really they can create whatever they want.
Yeah. But luckily, you did take this fight at UFC Tampa this past weekend. I think a lot of people would say it was probably your breakout performance. I'm curious, when you got on social media, you went on ESPN, did the interview, you got the highlight reel knockout. How crazy was your social media and even your phone after everything was all said and done?
It's still going. Um, I'm enjoying the upbringing. It's something that comes with the sport and it's something that I've been looking into just to become a role model or so that people can look up to. With the controversy of that fight, how it wasn't stopped early, kind of bringing down the how did you say the publicity part for me, the performance part,
Yeah.
and it downplays everything else, and people are just so focused on that ref should have stopped the fight and how it was just like barbaric and hard to watch.
And so is
But
the
still,
contra
no, no, you go.
I was saying, is the controversy, is that taken away from what you did out there? I mean, do you feel like people are talking more about that than actually how good you looked, especially coming on such short
Exactly.
notice?
Exactly. I feel like everything about that fight is just how the ref should have stopped it. And I mean, I took this fight on 4 days' notice. I went out, gave my everything I had to prepare, and I gave you guys a performance. I showcased my grappling, my wrestling, my boxing, everything, and for it to be pushed aside because of incorrect stoppage is kind of. I feel that. I feel it.
And so does that take away from the satisfaction of the victory? Because normally you get a face plant knockout, that's like that's the highlight. I mean, guys are going to be playing that over and over again, make T-shirts. Did that take away from that performance for you personally?
Yeah, I think so. I 100% think so. Wish it didn't too, but it definitely is. Um, it's making it seem like I'm a bad guy because I did continue to fight, and people noticed that I pulled back in the third round. I stopped swinging full combinations. I wasn't really that tired. I just didn't want to hit anymore. I was kind of listening to the crowd, and I heard them boo, and the reason they were booing wasn't because I didn't jump on him to finish him. They booed because the ref stood him back up.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, what can you as a fighter do about that? I mean, your job is to go out there and fight. You can't throw in his towel for you. I mean, what can you do as a fighter out there in that case? I mean, I assume there's nothing you can do.
Nothing. My job in that octagon when the doors close is to protect myself at all times. And the person across the cage, Thomas Gifford, he's the toughest person I fought so far. So no matter what I hit him with, he's still coming forward trying to attack me, and I can't just stand by and let it happen. I have to defend myself. And at the end of the extent, attack back.
And so I did think I heard a snippet about you saying you were trying to let it go to the judges or not knock him out or something like
Yeah.
that. What kind of happened there? What's going on with that?
And like I said, in the third round, I came out and um, I heard talking to the coaches in the corner, and they said this kid's done. He's probably not even going to get off the stool. So when I came out into the third round, and he threw a kick, and I was like, this guy is still coming. So I was like, I didn't want to barrage him like I did in the first round. So I took it back. I took like a level of striking down and started throwing incomplete combinations, like straight twos to the stomach, just something that can put him down that won't destroy him. And he just everything I hit him with, he lasted. So I started putting some power behind my punches, and I honestly in the third round I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stick and move and go to decision. It's fine with me. And then I guess he got caught. I didn't think he was gonna fall. I did not think he would fall. I thought I'd get that decision win.
But listen, I mean, we talk about all the negative that came from something that had nothing to do with you. I mean, you went out there on 4 weeks' notice and really just did your job to the best of your abilities. What do you do now to sort of, I don't want to say rebound from this, but continue on this upward trajectory? I mean, if you think about it, you're coming off a highlight reel knockout. This can only be a good thing for your career going forward.
At the moment, I'm just taking a break. I'm taking it all in. Everyone still hasn't seen the fight. People who haven't, they are messaging me late responses. I'm letting it all play out, and for the time being, I'm enjoying myself. I'm recovering, uh, getting ready to figure out what's going to be next. I talked to my management team. They said it's the ladder game, so we're definitely going to start climbing the ladder. And from here forward, I guess we're just going to try to get a full camp.
And so you mentioned that full camp. Do you have an idea when you'd like to return, or even when you were told when you might return? I mean, is there another one in 2019 for you, or are we looking towards maybe 2020?
I would take another 2019 fight, as long as it's end of November, anytime December. I did want to get onto the Madison Square Garden card, but that's about 2 weeks out, and that is not really something I
Yeah.
should do. But they were mentioning there's a Stevens fighting, and I would actually like to fight Stevens. That would be fun. I just feel like he's a striker or just a brawler, and I am too. As you can tell with Sadiq and Thomas, and some of my past fights, like Elvin Brito, we'll just go in there and I'll just trade until the end. And I feel like that would be a fun fight.
And
But
so,
I'm gonna let it all play out.
and so ideally, I mean, you mentioned kind of who you want next. Say the UFC, they come to you and they're like, we let you pick the event and the next fight to put you further in your career. Do you have an idea for all that stuff, or is it just kind of going with the flow at this point?
I'm going with the flow at this point. Because I just took a fight, I spent the last 2 months getting ready for one that failed, and then I got an opportunity to jump onto this one. Now that it's over with, I like to travel. I think I'm going to take a little vacation, go see the world some more, maybe even go back to Thailand. I want to go back out there and definitely learn a little more from them. For right now, I guess I'm just going to let my management team decide on who would be someone good to fight next, and then we'll pursue that.
All right, well, that's all I have for you. Thanks so much for the time, Mike. I really appreciate it, man. Congratulations on the victory. I mean, regardless of the controversy, it was a great fight, great performance. So look forward to seeing
Thank
what's
you.
next for you, man.
Hey, I cannot wait to show what I can do in a full camp. When my cardio doesn't kick out, and I had that like second wind in the second round, I'll show you guys what I can do.